want to talk a bit about your background, Coach, particularly going back to your days at USC.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned this story about how you might have had not one, but two cracks at Tom Brady, the first one taking place at USC. Can you tell us this story?
Yes, it's kind of fun, actually. And I'm very appreciative of being a part of all that back then. You know, I was responsible, given the kind of the job of recruiting the Bay Area by Coach Robinson, John Robinson at USC. So I got started up there, and through time, you know, I saw a quarterback that I really liked from Sarah High School, Tom Brady. And so we started the recruiting process. And, you know, as the story goes, I felt real good about Tom's interest in USC. The fact he had visited, I think, numerous times while, you know, unofficially while we were in the recruiting process. I'd been to his home, you know, I'd scouted a game, you know, I'd been through that whole process and felt real good about it. And, you know, when you're in college football, you are recruiting multiple players at each position. And there are only so many slots for each position, you know, in the recruiting process. So, you know, I just made a home visit with Tom and his family. I had headed back to the campus. RJ, this is before cell phone days, so I didn't have any, you know, ongoing communication with the home team back in Los Angeles. So I go to the office. I'd just been back from the visit with Tom, and walked in and was telling Coach Robinson about the visit. And he said, well, we just got a commitment from another quarterback from Chicago. We don't have room for Brady. And of course, I'd probably spent a year and a half on this deal. I was really surprised and disappointed. And that was opportunity number one, to maybe get a chance to coach Tom.
So the second opportunity comes a couple of years, or maybe 7 years later, to the head coach of the San Diego Chargers, and you wanted to draft him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, it was kind of funny. We ran into each other at the Senior Bowl or one of the All-Star games, and we laughed about it. And as we were, you know, evaluating quarterbacks, we had the intention of, you know, bringing a young guy in a development stage. So we weren't going to take a quarterback in the first or second round, but we were going to take one at some point. And I kind of charged the rest of the staff with, you know, helping research that guy that's out there that we might want to draft as that guy to bring along in the organization. And, you know, long story short, through a consensus of the work that we did, we, as a coaching staff, picked Tom Brady again. So it's just ironic how that came up. I was excited about it. You know, he had, I think his last game at Michigan, he threw for 400 yards against Alabama, I think in the Orange Bowl. So, you know, he'd had some production, and of course I knew the person, which is so important in the draft. And then as it turned out, you know, the drafting people in a lot of places has a lot of opinions. And so as it turned out, another guy by the Chargers was selected for our developmental quarterback. And then early on in his starting days at New England, we had to face him right off the bat in New England for a game that was a big one for us early. I think we were 3-1. They might have been 1-3. He had just started maybe one other game, and he took his team, the Patriots, back on 2 scoring drives. We were ahead 2 scores in the fourth quarter. He took them on 2 scoring drives, tied us up, and then took his team down and won in overtime. So that was my experience with recruiting and the possible draft, and then playing against Tom Brady.
I mean, Coach, I just got to say, you identified the greatest player of all time in high school, and again in the NFL. Thanks for watching this video, and remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the #1 Ranked Show YouTube channel.